We're now joined by Dr. Lucia Rodriguez-Freire, who is Assistant Professor of Environmental Engineering at the New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT. Good to see you, Dr. Lucia.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You told me that's what your students call you, so that's what I'm going to call you. Doctor, I'm going to be your student. We're all going to be your student. Define environmental sustainability, particularly in the age of this pandemic.
Okay, I always start this with something very simple because it was approved by Congress 50 years ago. That is the National Environmental Protection Act. And it was signed by Nixon in 1970. And it says that recognizing the profound impact that humans have in the natural environment, we have to work together to, yes, develop and grow up, but using with a smart use of the resources so that we can protect future generations. So that's what we try to do. We try to remediate contaminated sites, recover resources from mine waste, from wastewater, using natural processes that will help us progress and advance.
And you and your colleagues are doing great work, important work in the city of Newark, dealing with the water problem there, water treatment problem. Put in context, there are 18,000 service lines in Newark, water coming in from all different sources. What is the issue, and what are you and your colleagues doing to help the city of Newark, and more importantly, its citizens?
Yes, as you know, lead service lines were installed in Newark and other cities of the United States several decades ago. And of course, with the years, they have been degraded and lead has been started to leach from the pipes into our tap water. And Newark has been working removing those lead service lines, but in the meantime, they're using a corrosion prevention control. So they're adding phosphate. They have started adding phosphate, that is a inert chemical that will create a layer of protection, so preventing that lead from leaching out and getting into the houses. I'm working with a consulting firm with CDM Smith and the City of Newark in evaluating the efficiency of this corrosion control prevention. And what we are doing is we have a pipe loop study that we have excavated pipes, so pipes that have been removed from Newark homes. And we're looking at different treatments and the efficiency of those. So what happens if we add orthophosphate, if we have only silicate, and how much lead is being released? And then we are also looking at the layers of corrosion. So you know, with metals, if you leave them outside, they have a corrosion layer, they start turning orange and they start degrading. The same thing is happening in our pipes. So we look at those layers and see how stable the remediation is.
Doctor, I need to interrupt and ask you this. I appreciate the explanation of the process because this is not simple, but I'm going to ask you a simple question. If you can't answer it, I'll understand. How safe is the drinking water in the city of Newark as we do this program the beginning of the fall 2020?
I think that it's getting better. I think that the corrosion control has started to work, but of course, the solution is actually removing those lead service lines. That is what the City of Newark has worked incredibly hard to get that done. We are trying to be the safest that it can be with the lead service lines, but the objective is not to have them, it's just to remove them.
And the economics of that may not be something the city and the city can't do it alone. They need state help, they need county help, they need federal help. To what degree do you believe, Doctor, there's a national commitment to cleaning water in urban communities like Newark, protecting its citizens?
I am hopeful that it should be one of the priorities. I know that infrastructure has been said that is one of the main priorities of these organizations. So it should be one of the top priorities, but
You know, I'm not going to put you on the spot, Dr. Lucia, but clearly what should be the priority and what is the priority may be two different questions. And there are elections that are being held as we do this program. We will see who those leaders are going to be at every level of government and what commitment they have to working with organizations, institutions like NJIT and the environmental engineering experts there, the Environmental Sustainability Initiative at NJIT, to help cities like Newark and other communities. Dr. Amar, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Our pleasure. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by PNC, Grow Up Great, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, the Russell Berry Foundation, Suez North America, University Hospital, and by the Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by ROI-NJ and by Insider NJ.
Hi, I'm Governor Tom Kean. A dear friend of mine had aphasia, which is a language disorder that occurs from a brain injury or a stroke. It robs a person's ability to communicate, but it doesn't affect their intellect. Programs and services offered at the Adler Aphasia Center help to improve my friend's communication skills, as well as her self-confidence and quality of life. Most importantly, she was among people who understood her. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with aphasia, there is hope.